Leprechaun, back to the hood. The last one was the hood. This one is to throw some ebonics at you, plus a number 2, so this is a sequel to a sequel like a Final Fantasy game. Despite being a sequel to a sequel, none of the characters returned from the last film but Lep, and apparently, given the mixed reception of the last film, they decided, let's try again. The film begins with actually pretty decent animation, retconning that a king hired a bunch of leprechauns to look over his gold. After it was the king's time, they went home except for one notable leprechaun. Meanwhile, in Compton, Father Jacob fights the gays, just for the Lep to appear and tell him to knock it off. Lep finally got new clothes in this film, all black attire looking like the Babadook. But with some clover water and a prayer, Father Jacob sends the leprechaun to hell. Must be a deleted scene where Candyman uses Hook to pick up the Lep's hat. Jacob has a random heart attack, and a year later, he used the leprechaun's gold to pay for a youth center that never got finished. Given the intro, you would have expected that we somehow would have just left the hood to go to Ireland or at least Great Britain, but no. This is Jamie, the stoner, played by Paige Kennedy, his crush Lisa, and her friend Emily, played by Tangi Miller, who works at a salon. Her ex is Rory, played by Laz Alonso, aka Mother's Milk from The Boys. He's a dealer who's currently seeing Chanel. He's got beef with Watson, and Jamie owes him money. The girls go to Esmeralda, the fortune teller, of course that's her name. She knows her stuff and says that there's fortune in your future, but you can't take it. What's with the page turn transition? There's bee clovers in these weeds. So Jamie goes to give them a 3-star review, return the product, and drops a new slang.
Yeah, like, what up, ninja? Oh, look at them ninjas over there.
You need to stop smoking that shit.
Ninja, please.
What, the juice?
They lost the clover, so they can't get a refund. So everyone has a cookout at the construction site, as you do, and Emily followed her nose to the rainbow, going down a shaft and through a tunnel, finding a chest, and luckily Rory knows how to carbon date gold coins. Everyone's getting their own share, so it's time to spend, pay off debt, and spend some more. Having a party and showing off the collection, but damn, really shouldn't have taken that loan from Leprechaun Bank. But Jamie's friend realizes the Lep is a pothead. But then he sobers up pretty quick when it turns out he tried stealing a gold coin, so he gets stabbed by the bong. But the Lep got the munchies and gets comically knocked into the fridge, so he cold boxes it, as the others find the body and report it to Officer Jet from Cowboy Bebop and Chris Murphy.
Didn't you see the sign? No ninja loitering. Who you calling a ninja? Let's get him, get his ass!
Jamie gets busted for possession of 2 garbage bags full of lawn clippings. Chanel found a gold coin and had it melt down and turn into a gold tooth. Rory's business is doing well, but it's in Watson's scene, yo. Emily hates her job, but luckily the leprechaun's here to do it for her. But he's not getting a 5-star, so he chokes the customer out. There's a tussle, but the clippers get into the leprechaun's eye, so she can escape. They don't exactly believe the leprechaun story. Lisa's filing for college in the bath, but she has a leprechaun in the drain. I hate it when that happens. Jamie got out of prison, I guess on good behavior, and they find out the chest has an infinite gold glitch in it. But money isn't everything. Rory thinks that's a load of shit and runs with it. But when the leprechaun comes back, he also comes back. The 2 get out of there, and the leprechaun goes for the gold tooth and accidentally takes out the jaw, even though it was her upper tooth. Rory and Emily drive through the night until they're pulled over. The officers don't take the leprechaun serious and literally bonk him over the noggin, so Lep stabs Jet with a flashlight and rips the other guy's leg off. But using the cop's shotgun, they're able to escape, right into Watson. But Officer Leprechaun is on the case.
You have stolen what's been stolen from me.
Hold up. Yeah. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Lep takes some beatings from Watson, but pulls a Jason Takes Manhattan and gets him when he's tired out. So the crew lights Lep up.
What's up, ninja?
Is he allowed to say that? So Lep takes out the crew, one of which is played by the rapper Sticky Fingers, which I don't know anything about him other than there's a stand in JoJo named after him. Main hero steals Watson's car, but the leprechaun's underneath, so using the power of hydraulics, they shake him. Back to Ezzy's. She retells the story of the leprechaun from the beginning of the film, Why didn't they just play it here instead of whatever? Justice says the leprechaun's hurt by four-leaf clovers, and luckily they would be in a bag of weed. So they try making four-leaf clover bullets, which would just be burnt up by the gunpowder, whatever. Lep is here, and they try them out, which causes the leprechaun to bleed golden balls.
Say hello to St. Patrick's for me, bitch.
With the gun jamming, the leprechaun uses instant heal, but they bat him, so he breaks the bat and gives it back to them. But Esmeralda has magical fortune teller special effects, because shut up, giving the team enough time to escape as the leprechaun takes her out off screen. Making it to the roof, and they find a chest, so they toss some coins into concrete, which is still wet a year later for some reason, to taunt the leprechaun. But instead of just pushing him into the wet concrete right now, they get chased into Freddy Krueger's boiler room and trick him into it, which doesn't do anything. So after some more bullshit, Rory's able to unclog the gun, but he only had 14 rounds. So they beat him with the chest, knocking the leprechaun into the concrete. Finally, Rory and her get back together, Jamie is still alive, and they lived happily ever after. Or did they? No, it is the end. This is the final Leprechaun film in the original series. Final body count? 11. This movie is a mess. This is Warwick David's final time as the Leprechaun. The makeup is still as great as ever, and the new drip looks fine. He definitely has some funny moments in this film, and unlike the last two films, you can't just easily write him out of it. He's also missing for most of the first half of the film, and it feels just so weird and different from the other films in not a really good way. Like, they kind of made an episode of The Wire that happened to be a Leprechaun tribute for some reason. This film definitely, by a long shot, has the best cast and acting out of all the Leprechaun films, but they feel like less real people than the last film. It being a big retcon that's the King's Gold and there's multiple leprechauns never comes into play. I don't know, they could have said that like Rory was the direct descendant of the king and actually it's his gold by right. And the whole ending with taunting the leprechaun with the gold and the concrete till they actually shove him in just feels like such painful padding. 3.5 out of 10. Let me know your comments and opinions down below, as well as hitting the like button, subscribe, and hype on mobile.